Assalamualaikum and greetings I bid to everyone. I hope all of you are doing well in spite of these troubling times. My name is Muhammad Amirul Ashraf, and as part of the requirement for my class, today I will be presenting on the subtopic under the leadership theories, which is the great man theory. As an introduction, firstly we need to understand the general context behind the great man theory. Have you ever heard of the philosophical question, are leaders born or made? I am certain that most of you will answer that leaders are made, but this theory argues otherwise. The great man theory was conceptualized in the 19th century by the historian Thomas Carlyle, who believed that a leader is the one gifted with unique qualities that could capture the fascination of the masses. The great man theory stated that some people are born with the necessary attribute that set them apart from others, and these attributes are responsible for their assuming position of power and authority. It also mentioned that a leader is a hero who accomplishes goals against all odds for his followers. Several leaders that followed this theory include the likes of Alexander the Great, Mahatma Gandhi, Abraham Lincoln, and Napoleon Bonaparte. The great man theory centers around two main assumptions, with me taking Napoleon Bonaparte as the example. First, great leaders are born possessing certain traits that enable them to rise and lead. In the case of Napoleon Bonaparte, he possessed natural confidence and charisma that allows him to attract a massive number of followers. Second, great leaders can arise when the need for them is great. For Napoleon, he became the mainstream when his country was riddled with war. He led his country to victory against all odds and became their hero. Okay, so that was the general overview and definition for the great man theory. But for the sake of an intellectual discussion, we need to critically analyze the theory. Therefore, I will be using the SWOT analysis approach to examine the construct of the great man theory. First, we're going to see the strength. This story gives an explanation on the rise of great leaders. Initially, people were puzzled how does a person could become so influential and great to lead. This theory provides one of the answer. Second, it is the only leadership theory that advocates for the leaders are born statement. This story then raised an interesting argument to focus in the scholarly discourse on the um, leadership school of thoughts. And then there is the weaknesses. The theory lack of statistical and logical argument to support the theory. There are no scientific reason or basis of this theory, and it is based on myths and assumption. Herbert Spencer, a noted philosopher, described the theory as childish, primitive, and unscientific. Second, many of the traits cited as being important to be an effective leader are typical masculine traits. This theory considered only men as great leaders and avoided women having the potential to be a leader. It fails to address the success of female leaders such as Jacinda Ardern and also Margaret Thatcher. And then the opportunity, it became the reference for further studies. It created the fundamentals of leadership and characters of leaders, which could then inspire new and more comprehensive theories, such as the trait theories. And last but not least, the threat. There is a risk of a personal cult. This happened in the case of Napoleon Bonaparte, where a group of fanatics calling themselves as the Bonapartists tries to institute the descendants of Napoleon Bonaparte as the Emperor of France, citing that his blood is divine. Okay, so to conclude, the great man theory assumes that a leader is born with incredible attributes that separate him from others. However, this assumption was met with a lot of criticism from scholars because this story was to focus on the natural born ability of a leader and did not address the social environment that could mold the leader's trait. Nevertheless, the theory generate the interest of scholars in discovering more insights into leadership, and the theory maintained its status as a reference until today. That is all from me. Thank you very much.